I'm not scared, she says flat out, but I'm angry, and you should be too. She leans in, a little voice steady as a rock. The president said I should be jailed for inciting unrest. Let me tell you what I actually did. Then she breaks it down step by step. She pulls out the executive order, holds the pages up to the camera, and reads the shady parts with a highlighter, tapping each word. This right here lets the government shut down a polling spot in any black or brown neighborhood if someone posts a fake tweet about a fight there. Think about that. She pauses, lets it sink in, then grabs her phone, shares her screen, and shows the leaked DOJ emails. One's got orders to push the president's agenda, the other calls her a disruption. She just lets that sit for a sec. Y'all, this ain't oversight. It's suppression. It ain't about unity. It's about control. So picture this, the White House briefing room, tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. Reporters are packed in there, pens ready like they're about to go to war, cameras flashing, and the air just feels heavy, you know? President Trump walks up to the podium, face all tight, voice sharp as a razor. You could tell right away this wasn't going to be some boring press conference. He skips the usual fluff, doesn't even bother with the prepared remarks, and just dives straight in, guns blazing. He starts ranting about some radical Congress member who's supposedly stirring up rebellion and spreading lies about his executive order on voting systems, some plan he says is about security, but well, we'll get to that. Then boom, he drops her name real slow like he's savoring it, Jasmine Crockett. And get this, he straight up says she should be investigated for sedition. Frankly, she should be jailed. The room goes dead silent, like you could hear a pin drop. Reporters are just blinking at each other, some typing furiously, others looking like they don't even know what to do with that. The President of the United States just threatened to lock up a sitting congresswoman for speaking out. Some guy in the second row stumbles over a question. Mr. President, are you saying you'll instruct the DOJ to Trump? Cuts him off quick. We're looking into it. She's dangerous. She's inciting division when we need unity. People like that can't just say whatever and think there won't be consequences. Even his own staffers behind him are shifting around, looking uneasy. The vibe in the room, total chaos, even if it's the quiet kind. Now outside that room, the internet does what it does best, explodes. Within 10 minutes, clips of Trump's rant are all over TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. Thumbnails got his face frozen, mid-sentence, big red text, screaming, "Threatens jail for Crockett." Meanwhile, down in Dallas, Jasmine Crockett's in her district office, arms crossed, watching the whole thing on her phone. Her team texted her the second it dropped. She doesn't say much at first, just tells her chief of staff to play it again. She listens, face stone cold, no pacing, no shouting, just still. But you know something's shifted inside her. This ain't just politics anymore. This ain't a little jab from across the aisle. This is a public attempt to scare her into shutting up, and she knows if she stays quiet, it's only going to get worse. Her press aide's like, "We gotta respond like now." Jasmine nods, but she's got a plan. "We will, but not how they expect." Phones are already blowing up. CNN, MSNBC, even Fox want a statement. Commentators are losing their minds on live TV, some calling Trump's words unprecedented, others saying Jasmine's reckless race baiting, whatever. By the end of the day, her name's in over 200 news segments, talk radios on repeat, and political Twitter. A straight-up war zone. At a bar in Oklahoma City, some dude watching the headlines mutters, "They're gonna lock her up." The woman next to him snaps back, "Nah, they're scared of her, that's all." Back in Dallas, Jasmine's looking at her aide. "We go live tomorrow. No press filter, just me, my words. Let him hear it straight from the source." Her aide's like, "Facebook, YouTube, all of it." Jasmine just nods, turns off the TV, and calls her mom. "Mama, you saw it." Her mom's voice shakes a little. "I did. You okay, baby?" Jasmine's calm as ever. "I'm good. But this just got bigger than me." And let me tell you what she said the next day. It flipped everything upside down. Rewind a few days. Jasmine Crockett standing outside a courthouse in Fort Worth, Texas, in front of a small crowd. She's in a gray blazer, black slacks, got this look in her eye like she ain't here to play. Behind her, there's posters saying, "Protect our vote, and we remember Selma." No big national news crews, just some local reporters and community folks holding their breath. She steps up to the mic and lays it out plain. The president's latest executive order ain't about election security. It's about voter suppression straight up. She lets that sit for a second, then breaks it down. It targets cities with high Black and Latino turnout, moves polling sites to places people can't get to, and gives federal power to state officials who've already shown they'll rig the map any way they can. She's not yelling, doesn't need to. Her words are sharp, clean, like a lawyer making a case, and that's because she is a civil rights attorney who sees the fine print others miss. The executive order she's talking about signed just a day before. On paper, it's called Federal Streamlining of Election Security Protocols. Sounds boring, right? But dig into it and you got restrictions on ballot drop boxes, cuts to early voting hours, and weird rules, letting federal observers into high-risk districts. Guess which neighborhoods get called high-risk? Yup, mostly Black, Hispanic, and Native ones. There's even this one line that got Jasmine's blood boiling. If there's civic disruption or misinformation, the feds can just shut down or move voting stations to preserve order. She told her chief of staff, this means they can close a polling spot in a black neighborhood because someone tweets a fake rumor. That ain't oversight, that's control. She handed the order to a journalist she trusts, Ariana Liu, from the Dallas Morning News. Ariana publishes it that night, and by morning, Jasmine's courthouse speech is making rounds. Not front page yet, but it's spreading. Political TikTok grabs it, law profs repost it, civil rights groups start issuing warnings. Jasmine ain't stopping there, though. She pushes for a public review of the order's legality, starts organizing with other lawmakers on the low. Reps like Owen Jeffries from Michigan and Lena Serrano from Arizona join her. They're meeting virtually the night before Trump's press conference. And Jasmine's at her kitchen table laptop, open notepad full of bullet points. Owen's exhausted, Lena's pissed. We ain't getting Senate support unless something huge happens, Owen says. Jasmine's like, then we make it huge. Not with noise, with facts. That's when she drops the bombshell. She's got 2 leaked internal emails from a DOJ whistleblower. One tells federal attorneys to push the president's agenda on voting locations. The other names her directly, calling her a rising threat to administrative unity. She hasn't gone public with him yet, wants to be strategic, but after seeing Trump's rage on TV the next day, she knows it's time. So the morning after Trump's threat at 9:08 a.m., Jasmine goes live from her Dallas office. No fancy setup, no graphics, just her at a plain desk phone propped up, wearing a navy blouse, hair tied back, looking serious but not rattled. Good morning, she starts, real calm. I want to speak directly to the folks who elected me, and anyone else wondering why the president just threatened me on national TV. At first, it's like 1,000 viewers, mostly locals, but 3 minutes in, it's past 10,000. By the halfway mark, over 500,000 people are tuned in. I'm not scared, she says flat out, but I'm angry, and you should be too. She leans in, a little voice steady as a rock. The president said I should be jailed for inciting unrest. Let me tell you what I actually did. Then she breaks it down step by step. She pulls out the executive order, holds the pages up to the camera, and reads the shady parts with a highlighter, tapping each word. This right here lets the government shut down a polling spot in any black or brown neighborhood if someone posts a fake tweet about a fight there. Think about that. She pauses, lets it sink in, then grabs her phone, shares her screen, and shows the leaked DOJ emails. One's got orders to push the president's agenda. The other calls her a disruption. She just lets that sit for a sec. Y'all, this ain't oversight. It's suppression. It ain't about unity. It's about control. She's not shouting, just speaking clear, like she's been mulling this over for a while, like she's already made peace with the risk. We're standing at the edge of something dangerous, she says, staring right into the camera. And I ain't here to back down. I've faced worse than a man yelling on TV. She wraps it up by talking straight to Trump. You said I'm dangerous. You're right, but not for the reason you think. I'm dangerous to lies. I'm dangerous to silence. And if you're scared of me speaking truth, good, 'cause I ain't stopping. Then she taps the screen, ends the stream, and it's out there in the world. Within an hour, #Stand with Jasmine is trending everywhere. Civil rights groups are resharing clips. Lawyers are dissecting the order. College kids are posting with hashtags. Her inbox blows up with legal support, offers media requests, partnerships. But it's the comments that hit hard. A guy from Columbus, Ohio writes, my grandma was stopped from voting in '62. Never thought I'd see this again. I stand with you. A mom from Mesa, Arizona says, thanks for reading it out loud. I'm a mother of 2 and had no idea that clause existed, sharing this with everyone. A teen from Minneapolis adds, you made me care about politics today. That's something. Jasmine just sits back, no cheering, just a long exhale. Her aide's like, that was different. Jasmine turns to her slow. Now let's see who's got the guts to speak next. It wasn't just online buzz. People started moving. In a coffee shop in Boise, Idaho, a barista named Lacey props her tablet up while making lattes and replays Jasmine's stream. Half the customers are leaning in by the time she's done. An older guy in a denim jacket asks her to turn it up. A college kid's typing on his phone, eyes huge. A mom with a stroller whispers, This can't be legal. When it ends, nobody moves for a sec, then someone claps. It spreads through the shop, soft but steady. 1,000 miles away in Santa Fe, New Mexico, a retired teacher named Gloria forwards the clip to her old students with a note, "History's knocking. Pay attention." She gets 20 replies in an hour, all with screenshots of them sharing it. Online hash "Stand with Jasmine" overtakes celebrity gossip and sports in like 4 hours. It's not influencers driving it, it's teachers, grocery clerks, nurses, high schoolers. Regular folks who don't usually post about politics are sharing it with raw captions like "My dad marched in Birmingham. I see the same playbook," or "Voting shouldn't feel like a gamble." TV outlets are scrambling. MSNBC loops the stream highlights, CNN sends a producer to Dallas before lunch, even a radio show in Helena, Montana, usually all about cattle prices, opens with a segment called The Crockett Clash. By afternoon, streets are filling up. In Lansing, Michigan, 200 people gather outside the State House with hand-painted signs, "Dissent is not a crime, protect the polls." No megaphones, just voices chanting steady. A local reporter spots ministers, Vietnam vets, even high school athletes still in track gear. In Tallahassee, Florida, a law student named Kareem plans a candlelight march around the old Capitol building, expecting 30 friends. 600 show up. They walk slow, candles flickering, and when a cop car rolls by, nobody flinches. They just keep going. Jasmine's watching the footage from her office phone, propped up her comms director, Patrice, whispering, "They're everywhere." Jasmine just nods. Let them see each other. And they do. Live streams pop up from Eugene, Oregon with handmade banners. Drone shots from Shreveport, Louisiana show folks marching downtown singing "This Little Light of Mine." In Bismarck, North Dakota, where protests barely hit 100 locals form a quiet circle outside the courthouse and read the Voting Rights Act aloud one at a time. Cable hosts argue if this is civil unrest or civil defense. An analyst warns it could turn rowdy, but social media shows families with strollers, retirees with canes, college bands playing tunes. It's less a riot, more a collective deep breath. Still, there's tension. In Madison, Wisconsin, a counter-protester waves a "Lock her up" sign. A vet in a red cap yells at a kid streaming, calling it fake outrage. Cops break it up fast, but the clip gets 2 million views in hours, feeding the drama-hungry pundits. Back in Dallas, Jasmine tweets, "Keep it peaceful, keep it loud. I see you and I ain't backing down." It racks up 200,000 likes in half an hour. Inside the White House, phones are buzzing nonstop. A comms aide tries to downplay it, calling the protests small gatherings. That line doesn't stick. Governors from red and blue states start asking if federal observers are coming to their cities under the order. The question alone spells trouble. If observers show, it proves Jasmine's point. If they don't, the order looks weak. At a diner in Rapid City, South Dakota, a trucker named Dean watches a News Alert White House Reviews response after nationwide Crockett rallies. He sets down his fork. That's a first. Less than a day after Jasmine's live stream, the smear campaign kicks off. It starts sneaky. A headline on some sketchy political site claims Crockett funded by dark money PACs tied to extremists. No sources, no proof, just recycled old campaign donation screenshots that were already public. Doesn't matter. It's not about truth. It's about noise. Soon, right-wing commentators are running with it. A podcast host in Austin calls her a professional agitator. A cable pundit in Nashville says she's a staged actor in a bigger play. Social media gets ugly cropped clips twist her words. One viral post slaps her interview over unrelated protest footage she wasn't even at. In her Dallas office, Jasmine scrolls through it all quiet. Patrice asks, "Should we respond?" Jasmine shakes her head. "Not yet. Let him empty the tank. Some attacks ain't just online. Someone spray paints traitor on a billboard with her face in her district. A radio station in Raleigh, North Carolina says her law license needs a review. A sheriff in Alabama posts on Facebook she should be investigated for threatening democracy. Then there's the messages, anonymous threats, voicemails saying stuff like, "Go back to law school, you're not MLK, we know where your office is." That last one triggers a call to Capitol Police. Security tightens her staff, works rotating shifts, office lights stay on at night. But Jasmine, she doesn't flinch. She's still answering emails, reviewing legislation, meeting organizers, showing up on camera not to argue, just to speak. In a quick clip on her X account, she looks dead at the lens. If I'm being attacked for reading the law, what does that say about the law? And what does it say about the folks attacking me? It gets 4 million views in a day. Still, the narrative war rages. They dig into her speaking fees, old legal cases, even her outfits. One dumb post zooms in on her $18 earrings from a black-owned boutique in Baton Rouge and claims they're extremist symbols. Jasmine laughs when Patrice shows her. The only thing extreme is the markup, but behind the humor, she's tired. Patrice admits, you're holding up better than I thought. Jasmine's like, I ain't doing this for comfort. I'm doing it for clarity. Truth doesn't get tired. Then, something sweet cuts through the noise. A handwritten letter arrives from Geneva Bryant, a 93-year-old in Savannah, Georgia. When I was 22, I tried to register to vote. They said I couldn't read. I'd memorized Article 1 of the Constitution, recited it word for word. They still turned me away. Don't stop, Jasmine. I see you. Jasmine keeps that letter in her purse from then on, takes it everywhere. Slowly, things start shifting. A nonprofit in Milwaukee debunks the online lies about Jasmine line by line. Fact-checkers release a joint report, killing 5 big smear stories. Civil rights lawyers hit cable news defending her. But the real game-changer comes from a surprise source, Senator Charles Brantley, a hardcore conservative from South Dakota. On a midday broadcast, he says, I may not agree with Congresswoman Crockett's politics, but calling for her arrest because she read a federal order out loud, that ain't how democracy works. If we jail dissent, we don't deserve the flag we salute. That clip loops for hours. Patrice exhales in Jasmine's office. Well, that's one more than I expected, but it's just the start. At 6 a.m., Jasmine gets a text from an unknown Phoenix number. For what it's worth, I believe you. You didn't just speak for your district, you spoke for the country. I'll make that clear today. Mr. Patrice confirms it's Senator Maxine Rell, Arizona Republican, a centrist with clout. Hours later, Rell's at a podium on the Senate lawn, no crowd, just reporters and heat. I've reviewed the order, talked to constitutional lawyers, watched Crockett's stream and interview. We don't agree on much, but I agree here. Voter suppression is un-American, and threatening jail for saying so is a line we can't cross. I won't support this order as is. She walks off, no questions. That clip hits every network fast. By lunch, more Republicans give quiet interviews, some hedging, others direct. Senator Paulo Desmond from Nebraska has concerns. Congressman Eric Mears from Iowa says, we're not in the business of punishing speech. Even a Fox host raises an eyebrow. Maybe we should have read the order closer. Inside the White House, it's panic. Chief strategist Bennett Gorski slams Rell's remarks on the table. This ain't a protest anymore. It's a narrative collapse. Press Secretary Dwight Reynolds paces. We hold firm, say the backlash proves we need the order. Say Crockett's stoking instability. Gorski snaps, she read a document, Dwight. This mess started because she had a highlighter. Trump's stone-faced. We hold the line. She wants a war, she'll get it. Push harder. But the DOJ liaison, Russ, cuts in. Push harder and you risk a full internal investigation. The email she shared? There's more from more staff. Trump just stares out the window, muttering, find the leakers. That night, a journalist from the St. Paul Gazette drops a story with 2 unnamed federal employees confirming DOJ flagged Jasmine weeks before she spoke out. One quote hits hard. There was already concern she'd challenge the order. Pressure came from above to watch her socials. News outlets pounce, legal scholars compare it to McCarthy-era intimidation, civil rights groups prep lawsuits. Senator Rell introduces a resolution to freeze the order pending review. It's not expected to pass, but it signals this ain't just one woman with a webcam, it's a referendum on power.